There are two really common questions going around when we talk about Luke Littler on the internet. Someone needs to clear them up. How do? Welcome back to Edgar TV. That's me. I'm going to clear them up for you. Those two questions are, what if Luke Littler reaches the semi-final and breaks into the world's top 64? And will Luke Littler be in the Premier League? Now, let's put these aside for a second. Let's first start with the Premier League. I will answer this flat up, straight out, 100% categorically. The answer would be no. Now, the reason I say that is because he's 16 years old. He's not even had a year on tour yet. There will be a duty of care in regards to a safeguarding concern or consideration in terms of thrusting Luke Littler into something as demanding as the Premier League, on top of being a PDC tour card holder for the first time. He has got a PDC tour card, he's guaranteed that. Next year he will be out on the tour, and that is going to be a bit of a baptism of fire anyway. Not just because of the standard of darts. It's not all about the standard of darts. It's about everything that comes with it. It's about the travelling, the commitment, the time away, all of that side of things that he's going to have to get used to, because he's going to be on the tour for a very, very long time. So he's going to have that baptism of fire, the things that come away from the dartboard. On the board, no concerns whatsoever about Luke Littler. You know my feelings about Luke Littler. I've talked about him all year. The concern comes into the lifestyle. Now, if you thrust him into that Premier League as well, that lifestyle is going to double, because they've got media commitments the day before, so that's the Wednesday, the Thursday, then they've got to play the Premier League, then he might have to be travelling to European tours to play on Friday, because he won't be a seed, so he'll be playing on the Friday, so he'll be finishing there and then going and playing the next day, but that'll be flying through the night at 16 years old. So, and then you've got the Pro Tours as well, the European Tour qualifiers. Look how busy Chris Dobey was last year as a non-top 16 player, playing and trying to get in things like the match play and the European Tours and everything that comes with that. He was away sort of 6 days a week. At 16 years old, I think that might be too much of a demand. That being said, if Luke Littler goes to win the World Championship, he has to be in. You can't not put Luke Littler in. I do think, though, that is the only way Luke Littler gets into the Premier League. Is he good enough? I think he is, and I think he could meet the demands of the playing side of things, but I had concerns for the safeguarding and the lifestyle at the moment in regards to Luke Littler. That being said, I would not be surprised to see them put Luke Littler in a couple of World Series events, especially with the increased media attention that is floating around at the moment regarding Luke Littler. Okay, so let's answer that second part of this video. What does Luke Littler need to do in order to keep his money, or what happens to the money and the prize money in regards to Luke Littler and the situation? So, first of all, he will have a tour card for next year, 2-year card that he has won off the development tour, so he's guaranteed to be on the tour for 2 years. But, will he be starting from zero, or will he be starting from more? The only way Luke Littler does not start from zero is he reaches the semi-final of this event. If he reaches the semi-final of the World Championship, it will be £100,000. That's enough to put him into the top 64. If he goes into the top 64, he will get a 1-year tour card starting from £100,000. So he gets 1 year of free money where he's not defending anything. The second year, he'll have the whole year he's not defending anything, but at the World Championships would be defending the £100,000. Now, if he doesn't get to the semi-final, let's say he gets to the quarter-final, my pre-tournament prediction, quarter-finalist, £50,000. That £50,000 will go on the ranking, and then after Q School, when they reset the rankings, he gets zeroed, and he starts from zero. Now, the reason for that is purely because he's got a 2-year tour card. If he had that World Championship money, he'd have a 2-year tour card plus an event. So he'd have more than his 2 years. So he's got to start from zero on the 2-year card. This happens the same for anyone who's not in the top 64. So someone like Connor Scott, for example, who's not too far away from that top 64, he's on about £68,000. If he gets his tour card, he doesn't carry on with that £68,000. He starts back to zero again. Now, this would be only a problem really for Luke Littler in regards to the UK Open. So he'd get seeded for the UK Open, being in the top 64, he'd come in the money round and he'd skip a couple of the early rounds, but that's the only real benefit he'd have in terms of keeping that prize money in the short term. Long term, it obviously closes him into the top 32. I think personally that would be probably the best option for him at the moment if he was to make the semi-final, that 1 year card. Now, in the past, there has been a choice. You've had the choice. You could do this or you could do that. I believe that choice has now been taken away. You have to now go, right, I want this. Because when tour cards first existed, if you went to Q School and defended your card, you was able to say, right, I just want a 1 year extension. I want to keep the money and I'll take a year. Or you can take 2 years and go back to 0. That system's now gone. It's now, you take the 2 years starting from 0. That's your choice. It's a 2 year card, because I can imagine it got very, very hard to track and manage. It's hard enough as it is. That's why you need me on this channel. Go hit the subscribe. I'll talk you through everything you need. But they're the two scenarios. Luke Littler needs a semi-final in order to keep the prize money. Otherwise, he starts from 0 next year. And Premier League only if he's the world champion. They're my opinions and they're my views, and there's everything that goes with it. And I'll catch you soon, guys, for some more Edgar TV.
Edgar TV.